Hello and welcome to Talk from Superheroes. Hey everybody, I'm Andrew Ivamy.
And I'm Diana McCullum.
And you're listening to Talk from Superheroes, where every week we discuss a piece of heroic television or film. And this week on the podcast, we are talking about Stranger Things.
We're talking about Stranger Things, Season 5, Volume 2, and 3.
Volume 2 and 3.
And
yes.
3.
Episodes 4 through 8?
5 through 8?
Something like
How the
all of it.
numbering works. We already did the Volume 1, but encapsulating Season 5.
This includes the ending.
This concludes the Stranger Things.
Yes.
All normal things after this.
All normal stuff afterwards, and onwards and upwards to the normal stuff. This is a new thing. It just finished up on New Year's Eve, the perfectly normal day to release new things, but it just finished up on Happy New Year, y'all.
Oh, much more important.
Happy
New Year, everybody. We hope you had a great New Year. Don't know if you spent it watching Stranger Things. Some people did. Spoilers started going up at 2 a.m. That was fun.
People went wild for some reason.
Crazy. They're like, everyone watched it right at midnight, right?
What? But we watched it the following day, and now we're here to talk about it. It's new. It just recently wrapped up, so let's start with a spoiler-free section to give you a taste of the episode, or in case you're wondering if it's worth your time. And then when you hear the music, we will enter the spoiler-filled section. So spoiler-free review. Diana, did you like it?
I didn't like it, especially this section we're discussing, because we were quite kind, I think, to Volume 1. We were like, it was peppy, it's fun, it's actually moving at pretty good pace. It still had some problems, but we were delightfully surprised about Volume 1. Volume 2 and 3 are just they're slow and boring for the most part. I don't even really think they're bad, but I'm hardly anything happened until the finale, and then a bunch of things happened, and everything was just really easy and safe, and nothing was impactful. I was yeah, certainly things are happening, and none of it really meant anything or affected me in any way. And I just felt like they really took a middle road ending of everything and didn't make anything too hard for anybody. So yeah, it was kind of just 4 episodes that were really quite boring and not a lot happened. I have a couple positives of some neat effects and ideas of things, but relationship wise and even cool plan wise of oh, what a brilliant idea, nothing really popped off of oh wow, you nailed it, this was really special. There's nothing special about this, which is a little sad, because actually after all this time I was maybe they are gonna do something really cool, and they didn't really. I liked the very, very end when we get to talking about it. The last 10 minutes, I was I actually really like this, and that's probably my highest point of the whole thing. So good, very end. Andrew, did you like the end of Season 5?
I think I'm similar to you, but there's maybe a little bit more mixed feelings for me, because I would say that there's definitely moments here that I like. There are scenes that stand out, and there are a few just little performance moments and things like that. There's some joy here, but I agree for the most part it felt kind of meandering and boring. It was killing time. It wasn't as strong as the first half of this season. It wasn't as strong as Volume 1, where I think a lot of our positives when we were talking about Volume 1 was it's fast moving, it's peppy, and all of the characters are in one place. Mm-hmm. And then for Volume 2 and 3, it just kind of starts on this one to be well, let's start splitting up some characters and slowing down the pace a little bit. How about that? It's oh no, that's actually the exact problem that you had fixed at the start of this season. So it does drag, and it is a bit boring, but there are some good moments here. So it's kind of hard to judge, but overall, I found it a bit of a slog to get through. Mm-hmm. Just kind of boring and poorly paced, and just not particularly dynamic.
Dynamic's a great word to not describe it. Yes,
I know a great way to not describe it. Yeah, it's just not dynamic. At the end of the day, it seems like it's clever because a lot of metaphors and stuff are being said, but I know we're still in the spoiler-filled section, but I would generally summarize the plot of this back end of the season is, what if we walked towards the bad guy and then fought the bad guy, and then the story was over? So it's not really interesting, even though it really tries to sell it in an interesting package. It does everything possible to dress up a not particularly interesting thing.
Yeah. The wrapping paper is dynamic as hell.
Yes.
And it's whoa, can you believe we're doing this incredible thing? And then the incredible thing is oh.
Huh. Yeah, this is getting
I checked if we were done so many times. I'm like, there must be like another bigger thing, right? And then there's going to be another actual big thing.
What are we doing here? And then some things don't get wrapped up. So generally, I think very indicative of like Stranger Things as a whole. A generally disappointing plot structure with some good performances and a handful of standout moments that look good or feel right for whatever reason, you know?
Yeah, I think we're on pretty much the same page here.
Yeah, and can it be spoiled?
Oh yeah, I guess it's the ending of a big long story. It can be spoiled.
Yeah. If you've been following it along for the whole ride, then you might want to wrap it up to find out what does or doesn't happen to these characters. So I'd give it a soft. It can be spoiled. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. It can be spoiled, and it's not dynamic.
It's not dynamic.
I love this.
It's a great way to not describe it. It's not dynamic, but let's talk about it in detail. Let's get into the spoiler-filled section. Let's talk more about Stranger Things. All right, season 5 is done and dusted. It's done and dustin'. It's classic Stranger Things. But yeah, I wanted to like it a little bit more because I did like Volume 1, and it was fixing some of the things, but then it just kind of fell back into some old hat problems.
It did. It almost felt like that's how they decided where to put the volume numbers. They were like, we fixed it, and that's going to be Volume 1. And then we flubbed it. And please release that on Christmas Day when maybe people are going to be kinder and have less time to write articles about it being boring and slow.
Oh, that's interesting. That's an interesting perspective.
That's my maybe perspective. Because, yeah, I agree. I was, like, coming in with a really, like, open heart. I was like, oh, yeah, they're fixing some of these problems. They have the whole cast. Like, there's no, like, weird, like, these definitely aren't on the same day and these people weren't in the same room. I'm like, oh, they're really gonna nail this. Mm-hmm. And then it was like, I'm gonna describe the finale as it felt like everyone rolled a nat 20 on every idea.
Right, and there was no conflict, there was no pushback, there was no real difficulty.
No, and it was like, we did it.
Yeah.
Great.
Everything that we said was right, even though some of these things are wildly out of left field, and we've kind of changed the entire structure of what any of this is and why for no particular reason. And so, like, I think that's one of the frustrating things. So to summarize this kind of back half of the season for people.
Have fun, babe.
Because it's the crew from Stranger Things. They're like, Max and Holly are in there, and they're like, the Upside Down isn't another world, it's actually a tunnel to another world, which is where Vecna lives, and Vecna's trying to mush the two worlds together. So Vecna's world is going to travel through the Upside Down and then collide with regular Earth, and then evil will be on Earth. So a classic, a hell dimension is trying to get sent to Earth, and it turns out the Upside Down was never a place all along, even though it is a place.
It's a place
in between a place.
Bridges are places. They're on maps.
Yeah.
You can go there.
The Upside Down is more of the inside middle, is what they just kind of decide.
We do have to rename them.
Yeah, so the Upside Down is now the inside middle between two worlds, and Vecna has decided to bring his world to Earth, and they have to stop this from happening while saving Max and Holly and a bunch of these newer, younger kids who are in this dream realm. And they do that by going there and hitting him. And then that's kind of the plot of this, is that he is in a place, we go to the place, we fight him at the place. And it acts like it's a lot more clever than that, but I think that is a clear and succinct summary of this, is that they've decided to completely restructure what the Upside Down was. It's now the inside middle. Vecna's just in a place, and you just have to go hit him. And then that's the plot of Volume 2 and 3.
No, you've absolutely nailed it. Yeah, like, it's kind of clever to climb up the radio tower so that they can get there before the worlds collide. That's maybe the most clever thing they do. And then they're just like, man, we hope these guns we brought are going to kill them.
And they kind of do.
And I
mean, it's mostly like Elle and her powers, but like,
it's like
kind
Elle
of.
I mean, well, they mostly kill the Mind Flayer, and then Elle and Will kill Vecna, it seems.
Yeah.
But
they didn't need to kill the Mind Flayer.
Did they?
They didn't.
They did. I mean,
I think they did because it was there in front of them because that's the place that they went.
but the Mind Flayer couldn't move the world.
Yeah,
Vecna could.
the Mind Flayer was essentially irrelevant.
Oh, yes.
As was
Yes,
the
yes,
military, as was most of the plot.
Was that military irrelevant?
None of it was relevant.
Linda Hamilton should not have been here.
She just stopped existing at one point.
She just doesn't matter at the end of the day.
No, we just fade to black and they're just like, don't worry about it.
I don't know if I want to jump right to the end stuff that really made me mad.
Okay, well,
but
let's save that.
let's
How about
save
that?
that.
Let's save that, yeah.
I'm actually going to hit a positive off the top. Let's do a couple positives. You talked about some performances, and I do think there's some good performances. I'm going to stick to a cool idea. I think the melting building was awesome.
I was just about to say that's my favorite thing. For sure. It ruled. It absolutely ruled.
Easily the best, most interesting thing they've done. It's new. It's like not anything they've done before. There's soldiers stuck in the floors from a previous melt of the building. It's scary. It's a new problem they haven't faced.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense. It doesn't really come out of nowhere, but it does, but in a way that I'm totally fine with. Like, it's already melted when they got there. So when it starts melting again, it's not like, what do you mean?
I think the idea is that it's supposed to be like microwaved or something. I don't know, but it's melting.
It's melting, and humans don't melt. Good to be a human in the melting building who's not melting.
Yeah.
But as a like plot device of like the stairs have melted, this room we're in is flooding with melted metal.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Really cool. It looked amazing.
It looked awesome.
It was haunting. The like and yeah, Jonathan and Nancy like on the table doing the trope of like a room filling with water, but it's filling with liquid metal and liquid, whatever objects are in the room. It looked incredible. And I thought they had a really great scene between them during it. That was one where I'm like, oh shit. Like, it's those little moments in this where I'm like, the broad stroke general plot of this is nonsense, and it's largely irrelevant and without dynamism or direction. But then these two just sitting in a room having a scene together, it just works. The emotional core works, the performance works, the room is cool, the melting's cool. All of it is very interesting.
It's a very cool room, and yes, the performance is great, and it's one of the only scenes, not that people don't talk, because it's a lot of talking in Stranger Things, and it's very little action, it's mostly talking. But this is one of the only conversations that about like confessing things and changing. Whereas I think most conversations on Stranger Things are, it's not your fault. That's 80% of the conversations in Stranger Things are either exposition or it's not your fault.
Yeah.
And it's not your fault is such a boring conversation.
Yeah. And I think as we discussed
of course it's not his fault.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not anyone's. It's never anyone's fault, except for this scenario when Jonathan's like, it's a bit my fault. I was putting some stuff on you that I'm going through, and that's a great conversation of like a sincere, honest, what am I holding myself and you accountable for?
Yeah, like, is this relationship working, or are we holding on to it because we're the only two messed up people in Hawkins who have gone through all this trauma?
Yeah.
It's an actual great conversation where these two people change.
Yeah.
And most conversations on this show are just like, I feel bad. And then it's like, don't feel bad. Those are such boring conversations. But this real conversation about like your relationship and what it means and how we've been holding on for it too long. So it's really great acting and actual great dialogue and a great character dissection of. And it's weird that these two random characters had like the best character dissection of this entire volume, I would say.
Yeah.
Because other than maybe like Will, which we'll get to in a second, obviously that's a huge one. But everyone else is kind of just like, we're just here for the ride and we're just ourselves and nothing's really changed.
Yeah, everyone is themselves if they're there at all. Joyce has literally one sentence in the final episode.
She's top billed.
She's top billed, and she had we counted it, one sentence, which goes to like a larger bloat problem of you didn't need this many characters, including new characters you have introduced going into your finale. Narrow it down to the core, But that's a whole thing. But yeah, the Jonathan Nancy did not expect them to have like the biggest moments of this final volume. Maybe a bit of Dustin and Steve, but more Jonathan Nancy, I think.
Dustin and Steve can go right in the trash.
Well,
this is easily my biggest negative of the season.
Yeah, okay. Is just the Dustin and Steve of it all.
The Dustin and Steve of it all. So Dustin and Steve are like at butting heads the whole time, obviously. And it comes to a head. Steve says something kind of mean about Eddie, which might be true, but it's like intense in the moment about how he like died on purpose or whatever. Dustin fully assaults this man.
Yeah.
And not just like one punch. He like tackles him over and over again. He throws stuff at him. He throws him into a wall. And like Steve's bigger than him, so he's able to like push him off for the most part, but he's still a little hurt. This attack goes on for like 5 minutes.
There is a funny charm of Steve's reaction to the fight, which is, Dustin, what the hell? Like,
I don't find it funny whatsoever.
But like, just like a person who's like, you're not going to successfully beat me up. There's something funny to that, but it's not the intention of the scene, and it does suck.
It does suck because he's genuinely trying to hurt him.
Yeah.
And it's not funny just because Steve's bigger than him. Because, like, what if Steve wasn't? What if this was one of your equally sized friends you were freaking out about? What if this is your girlfriend in the future and this is how you respond to arguing with someone?
Right.
RIP to your future relationships, Dustin. This is so messed up. And then, extra messed up, in the next episode, Steve apologizes.
Yeah.
And Dustin doesn't say shit about physically attacking him.
Yeah.
I am so furious.
Yeah. And on top of that, during the attack, they make Dustin wildly unlikable, which is really frustrating because he's one of the more likable actors
Oh, yeah, he's
and
a great
characters in the show. Where I'm like, there are moments by the end of it where I'm like, I kind of forget that I dislike you, but that's also a problem in itself. But yeah, in that attack as well, breaks the antenna to the microphone, which puts everyone and the world in like it's one unlikable thing if this happens at a party or in the basement or at the radio station, which is kind of where these things have been happening. But now it's like we're in the end game. It's the final mission. It's Dustin being like, everyone needs to get their shit together or the world ends. And then he doesn't and puts everyone at risk and like breaks the antenna and then is like, oh, I figured it all out just now by speed reading this notebook, but you can't hear me because I broke my own radio by being an asshole. And then later is frustrated with them for shooting the force field that's holding the world together, which is now no longer the upside down. It's a bridge between worlds. And it's just like, why did you hit it? Because that was the plan and what you told us to do. And then you broke your radio and you had wildly new information that was also irrelevant but super important, and none of this works, and it really sucks. It really sucks.
And him never apologizing, I think, is the thing that sucks the most. Sure, he cries, and that's not an apology.
Yeah, and like there's justification for his negative emotions. You know, this idea of like, I actually don't know how to deal with loss and I'm lashing out. And I think that is a great motivation for a character to start being mean and shitty. But then you have to reckon with that as a character and kind of write in the like, I need to compensate for this. I need to apologize. I need to own this mistake. You can't just have the quiet background of like, but he's dealing with grief. And I'm like, yeah, but you can't just assault your friend and then have them apologize to you.
No, not how any of it works in any way. It's real bad because there's so many other ways to do it. Like if he's getting violent, then he can get violent towards, you know, like demi-dogs or demigorgons. He can become reckless and then like his friends pull him back. Is a better version of how this happens, of like just your anger seeping out or like just being plain mean with words.
Yeah, just be mean back.
You're so smart. Your words would be so mean.
Yeah.
You could be so cutting, Dustin.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, this sucked.
This sucks.
I hated this.
Yeah.
Especially because like also like Steve's like my favorite character and I'm like, this is what he gets to do this season? Get beat up by Dustin and apologize to him?
Yeah, for nothing really.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
Doesn't
it's no
work.
good.
No.
And then there's just a lot of things in these 2 volumes that just end randomly, that they're just like, that's not a thing anymore. There was the moment with Hopper and Elle in the Upside Down when they're trying to get back out to meet up with the crew, and they're like, it's a tornado. What if we go over there? And then the scene just kind of ends, and then they're out. And I'm like, that was like at the height of tension. You didn't finish that scene. Why were they there? Why were they out? It just kind of, a lot of things just stop.
They do this several times, and I don't know if maybe they like cut things for effects because they were going to get out by like going through one of like the holes in the ground. But I agree, they just cut it off before they did it, and then it cuts to them in the regular world in a car.
Yeah,
which is a huge amount of time you've skipped over and the height of the scene. And then they also skip over Elle like using the boulders to jump into the abyss. which would have looked really cool. Like, it was cool when she did that to get into
Yeah.
the military base in Volume 1. And I know you don't want that dramatic tension of the reveal that she's in the abyss, but she just said she was going to jump on the boulders to get into the abyss.
Yeah.
So instead of not showing me the cool thing Elle did,
Yes.
maybe you could show me the cool thing Elle did.
Uh-huh.
I'd love to see her hopping boulders.
Because and it's visually dynamic. It would have been and maybe there was a budget problem. Maybe there is just some boring practical
There couldn't have been. It cost $400 million. It's a girl jumping. That can't be the issue.
They could afford anything.
They could afford The Rock. They
Yeah.
could afford Chris Evans. They can afford Elle jumping on some boulders.
The entire Beatles catalog plays while the whole Avengers show up. They can afford whatever they want.
James Cameron makes a Stranger Things Avatar. They have
The
money.
Na'vi are there, all of it.
All of it. That's what the Abyss has been the whole time. So I will not accept budget as an excuse.
So budget's not an excuse.
Budget's out.
Just poor storytelling is the excuse.
That's the only option. Or editing.
Or editing, yeah.
Or writing.
Yeah, because it's just so weird to have a character be like, I know how I need to stop the villain. I need to physically go to them and then hit them. That's a very straightforward thing. There are ways to do that story that works. And if you're going to do that, then you have to have exciting things happen along the way. And an exciting thing would be fully superhero leveling up, massive, cool double jumps across floating platforms in space to get there.
Yeah, like each platform's a little bit farther away and she's struggling and she grabs the last one by her fingertips maybe and just barely makes it.
Instead, skip it. She says she's going to go to the villain, and then she's at the villain, and then that's the story. And that's just nothing.
It's
It's just nothing.
And then she fights the villain by just throwing him across the room.
That's
the plan?
you go to there, and you are there, and then you physical force. And that's it.
I feel like I kind of owe previous seasons of Stranger Things an apology for how complicated the plots used to be.
Yeah.
Because this is so straightforward.
Yeah.
And, like, it's also really weird that, like, I guess we're on the final fight now. It's weird that the final fight is so easy for so many reasons. There's, like, no demigorgons. There's no demodogs. There's no giant bats that killed Eddie. All of those things are gone.
Yeah.
It's also really weird that it's broad daylight.
Yeah.
'Cause
Or
this
like
is-
fire daylight, whatever
but
you want to.
it's like a desert. It's
Yeah.
actually quite bright for the whole thing, which is so weird because it's like this was your horror show.
Mm-hmm.
Like things are supposed to be scary in the shadows, and it's really just like, oh, it's scary that like the inside of the mind flare has a bunch of teeth in it. And I'm like,
Yeah, it's got a
but
butthole with teeth.
that's scary, I guess. It'd be scarier if there was like a shadow.
Does it do anything?
It's also
And it also doesn't do anything.
the teeth don't do anything. They're aesthetic.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I find it really weird that the final fight has like no obstacles. It's no like, oh, we have to get by the demodogs, or we have to get by the demogorgons, or the bats, or a new thing. Because every season they like to introduce a new demo something.
Yeah.
And it's really just like, oh no, don't worry about that.
That's gone.
You can just walk up to his house.
So that's it. He's asleep, so you can walk up to him.
We got his address, and then we just walk up to his
Ooh.
house.
Oh boy.
He's asleep.
Oh boy. Yeah. And then like all of the other kids coming and they fight what is it? The big
The mind flare?
Mind Flayer.
Oh, okay, yeah, the big one. When you say kids, I was like, which ones?
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, they
I
have
thought
to
you
fight
meant the ones in the Mindscape, maybe, or
they fight the Mind Flayer, I guess, and at one point they have a throwaway line where they're like, if we hurt it hurts him too. And it's like, okay, I guess that's a good enough reason. It really feels like last season when Hopper and Joyce are in Russia, and they're like, any damage we do in Russia also helps the kids. And it's just like,
Why?
why? And why? That's just a thing you're randomly saying, motivated by nothing. So I guess, though. So yeah,
the Mind Flayer I at least understand because he's giving Vecna his powers.
Okay.
So hurting the Mind Flayer would hurt Vecna, I would think.
Oh, okay.
Or at least depower him.
Sure. Okay.
So I don't mind. I don't mind that. I think it's ridiculous they beat it.
Yeah.
No plan.
No
just
plan.
a giant monster and a flamethrower.
Just some weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Some weapons, some physical harm.
Some physical harm. Because I think if I was the Mind Flayer, and the Mind Flayer seems pretty smart, very complex plans that the Mind Flayer has come up with, even though like he can talk in your head, doesn't even have a mouth,
Mm-hmm.
but he's got thoughts and is sentient. I think if a human on a cliff had a flamethrower, I would walk away from the cliff.
Yeah.
I think
you just walk away from the
as
cliff.
soon as I got hit with the flamethrower a little,
you would
I'd
just
probably
leave.
be like, oh, I'm going to go over there.
Yeah.
And you're a tiny human.
You could just leave.
You could just leave.
You could
so
just leave.
I think the mind flayer not just leaving was kind of silly.
Yeah, a lot of it's kind of silly.
Oh, you know what? A lot of it is kind of silly.
Kind of silly. Yeah, yeah. I think there's a lot here as well of just rewriting all of it that I don't understand in a way. Like, why the upside down isn't the upside. Oh, the one that really, I'm like, why are we doing any of this? That Will is the one who made the tunnels with his mind in dreams?
Oh my God, what are you talking about? Will made tunnels?
With his mind in dreams when he was there? Who gives a shit? No one was demanding an answer to the tunnel system. It's like, yeah, demigorgons were going in and out of tunnels. There's tunnels sometimes. What the fuck are you talking about? Why is this a whole thing?
Yeah, like how could Will have even done it? Like you can like see through Will's eyes and he can see through yours and he can control demigorgons now, but like he can't move matter with his mind. He can only move the demigorgons.
Yeah.
So how is he building tunnels?
And also, why would I give a shit as a
Why do
viewer?
I
Why do
care?
I give a shit
Because Will feels bad. But
about building tunnels?
But Will already felt bad about giving up Max's location, which was enough of a thing to feel bad. Which he didn't give up. Like, Vecna tore it out of his mind.
Yeah.
But, like, that was enough of a guilt thing to be like, Will feels really bad that he gave up Max's location. I didn't need some tunnels I didn't know about.
As you mentioned, the only plot device that they've used on this show for 5 seasons is this is my fault.
Oh,
is
every
the only
time.
thing. And so just Will being like, it's my fault because I made the mind tunnels. What the fuck? We've run out of this is my fault sentences that people could say, and we're inventing absolute banana pants moon brain shit here now.
Winona Ryder is an incredible actress, and she's out of facial expressions for
Yeah.
dealing with this stuff. She's just sitting there like, right, the tunnels, of course.
Of course, your mind made the tunnels.
No, Will, it's not your fault. No one cares about the tunnels.
Literally, no one has ever out loud mentioned how the tunnels got built or the consequences of the concept of tunnels. Literally, in the 5 years we've been dealing with this, no one has uttered the word tunnel out loud.
And I'm not even sure I know what you mean. I assume you mean the gates, because people usually call it gates when they travel between the upside down and the regular.
I think the gates go into the tunnels, which then go up to the upside down, which is now the in-between.
So many words.
It's so many words, and all of them mean whatever the show wants them to mean in any given... The amount of just banana pants metaphors that this show uses throughout the series of trying to explain things, of just like things coming... The fact that it's not the in-between, it's now a bridge between two... Or it's not the upside down. It's now the bridge between two worlds. And just Dustin having a loose glance at a physics textbook and being like, yeah, I get it. Do you know how sometimes you hold up the telephone receiver next to a television and it statics because that's how... And then just like laying things in a room and it's like, and that's it. And everyone's like, oh, of course it is. Why? Why is it? Why is it? Why is everything just like a bunch of new information?
I feel like in an early season, they did something like this, and it was actually really clever.
And they never stopped.
And they never stopped. And like, well, we need all the metaphors to be cool in like layman's terms when they're neat.
Yeah.
Like, because Robin has one where she's like, takes 3 records out. She's like, this one's Will, and this one's Holly. And look, you can put them in different sleeves. And I'm like, those are records.
What? Yeah. What does that even mean?
Human beings.
It's just, it actually doesn't help describe anything. It doesn't help describe anything.
No.
The other plot device that changed on a dime that really frustrated me as well was the shield that holds the bridge world together or whatever. When it was just like, Dustin's like, you have to go shoot it and destroy it. It's what's protecting Vecna. Mm-hmm. And then they do, and he's like, no, it's obviously an nth metal energy source that's holding the bridge world between two worlds together. And that's just a weird switch that I'm like, well, I don't know what the point of any of that was.
Yeah, it's it's kind of annoying because as much as it's unlikely that Dustin would be right about every single one of the guesses he makes along the years, he has been.
Yeah.
So, shield generator is a metaphor for whatever this is actually doing. And honestly, I think that is still technically a shield generator.
I guess it is a shield holding it all together. It's still some form of that.
It's still some form of that. It's just more fragile than he thought it was. It's a shield in a different direction than he expected.
Oh, okay.
So he was still kind of right, which maybe they should have phrased it that way and I would have been less annoyed.
Yeah. I'm still right.
I'm still right, but the frequencies are different than I thought they were. So it was what they did with it was cool with the melting building and stuff. But yeah, just like being like, oh no, I was wrong, and it's this. And I'm like, yeah, but everything you're saying is nonsense.
Yeah.
So when you're like, it wasn't this nonsense, it was different nonsense.
It's like, okay, why did we do the first nonsense?
Oh no, different nonsense.
Yeah.
It doesn't really do much for me.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I don't know what extreme energy is or whatever he called it.
Yeah, that was all hard to track.
That one was, because sometimes they introduce stuff and you're like, wormholes. Got it.
Yeah.
I'm a sci-fi fan.
Yeah, a bridge between two dimensions. There's a world on the other side, and it's trying to merge with this world. Classic interdimensional evil guy. That makes all the sense to me.
But yeah, when you're using things that aren't like tropes
Yeah.
and it's new stuff, I'm like, well, that's just nonsense.
That's just nonsense now.
Just nonsense. Speaking of nonsense, so have you seen the Stranger Things play?
At one point, I said aloud, I forget what was happening on screen, and I was like, did I miss something? And you said the words to me, oh no, that's explained in the Broadway musical. And I stood up to leave, and I live here. I stood up to leave, and I live here.
He had to get away from Stranger Things.
You cannot turn to me on my own couch in my own home and say, no, you should know that from the Broadway musical. This is
To be fair, I'm not sure it's a musical, but it's definitely a play.
a Broadway play.
It's a Broadway play. It is about, it's how Henry got his powers. So it's all set in whatever year that is, the 40s maybe, or the 60s. So the play is about how he got his powers. And they're like, well, we have to show a bit of it in the show, I guess. But if you want the full story, you got to see the Stranger Things play. And you probably can't.
Yeah, you probably, geographically, 99% of you cannot.
It is
also
not available for screening.
And also, judging by the reports of ticket sales, the people who can see it also aren't.
Oh, those went up once the trailer came out.
Oh, okay. All right. So those went up.
They're doing great now. People also were like, what's happening? I better go see the play.
I better go try to make sense of this, people said. And that was a waste of their time.
I think they still explained most of it because it was what was going on in the tunnels. But it's also still like, who's this guy with a briefcase and what's this rock? And, I guess we know that he got a rock to the hand. Classic story.
Yep.
You get a magic rock
to the hand. And it takes you over.
Yep. And that's what happened. But if you want to know more about that, there's a play.
Yeah. Yeah. So a classic magical object got him.
I wonder if the play also explains why Vecna/Henry was in literally every room of the high school, because this was very funny to me.
I know we're nitpicking the hell out of this show.
It's genuinely funny.
But I agree with nitpicking this as well.
So when Max is in Henry's mind, so these are all memories. It's not time travel. These are memories.
Yeah.
And they're in the high school, and then they're like, the other girls are like, is that Joyce? She's like, yeah, that's Joyce. Hopper's over there having a smoke, and the Wheelers are over there feeling each other up, and this, and then three other things. And I'm like, was Vecna in every room of this high school?
You can't remember places that you weren't.
No, these memories are things you saw. You saw Hopper get high. You saw the Wheelers
behind a closed door.
You saw the Wheelers groping each other in a classroom.
Yeah.
I believe you saw the play you were in.
Yeah. You saw the play you were in. You saw Joyce hand out flyers in that hallway.
Mm-hmm. And then everything else she said, she's like, this and this and this. I'm like, it's funny dialogue in the second you think about it. You're like, wait a minute, these are memories.
Yeah.
You're not time traveling.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just feel like these aren't Easter eggs. It really is. And
if you want to know more, go to Broadway.
It's a real broad stroke thing where I'm like, I think the Duffer Brothers don't know what Easter eggs are. Ooh. Where they're like, we're saying a thing that's also another thing. And it's like, yes, but what's the value in that? And does it make sense in any way? It is the same way of a lot of the writing problems that I discuss, it's just new information are not twists. Like, to quote I Hi Bye when they're like, lies aren't twists. That's a form of very bad writing that like some movies will do, to be like, we just told you misinformation, and later we reveal it was misinformation, but lies aren't twists. This is the more boring form of that, which is just like, hey, look over here. This is thing A. Actually, thing A means thing B. That's not a twist. That's just new information. You can't just start writing new things. So yeah, they don't know what twists are or what Easter eggs are.
They don't. And this, I don't know if this is really relevant to what we're talking about, but like just like on their like writing process, it feels like they definitely don't know like, how am I trying to phrase this? When they did a lot of montages this year of like, oh, it's a montage of this character and things that have happened. And it really highlighted that they've changed a lot of the show.
Right.
Just like, oh, it used to be about this and it used to be about this. And it's like, oh, none of that makes any sense. Like it shows like at one point Joyce with like the lights, and Will used to communicate through the lights. And I'm like, well, now that we know how the Upside Down works, Will could not have been touching those lights.
Yeah.
The lights don't show up in the Upside Down.
No, they don't. And the Upside Down is also not a reflection of this world.
No, it's a stuck moment.
It's a stuck moment and also a bridge to a different world, which is he was in the different world that wasn't even the Upside Down, I think is what they imply later now.
I think he was there for a while, but like they found him in the Upside Down later. Like Joyce and Hopper in season 1, he was definitely in the Upside Down. But like, yeah, I think he was taken to the abyss to get like,
abyss, that's right.
He got the tube put in his mouth.
Yeah.
I think the tube in your mouth is the abyss. The other spots.
Could have done with a lot less tube.
Oh boy. I mean, I know they'd already done the episodes, but they took no notes about tube in the mouth of children, huh?
They really love showing a tube.
Just a tentacle into a child's mouth. 12 children, 12 tentacles.
It's rough.
It sucks.
It sucks and it's rough. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's gross to look at. I mean, I guess they weren't real, so the kids didn't actually have to do it. Yeah. But it was just unpleasant, and not in a way that was purposefully unpleasant. It's not like when Steve's covered in gook from skewering the mind flare. It's like no. The imagery is bad. This is not what you want to be showing.
And that's not the point of the art. You know, like that's as we kind of discussed, where it's like it's very similar to like the face huggers and stuff in Alien, which is a metaphor for rape. And it's just like, okay, and now we're doing this with 12 children, and you seem to be showing it every 15 minutes. Is it a metaphor for anything? And it's like, I don't know. We just did the thing that was from the 80s.
A man took a bunch of children to his private island and put tentacles down their throat?
And what does that mean? I don't know.
Oh, it means he just wants to move the abyss. Don't worry about it. It's the only way to move the abyss.
James Cameron did it. Like, it's just...
Vecna saw Alien.
James Cameron did it. Ridley Scott did it. Come on, guys.
Be nice to us.
I'm also only speaking references. I'm Vecna.
I haven't read A Wrinkle in Time.
Oh, my God.
And that bothers me. I don't think it's a popular enough reference.
Yeah, I agree with this. I think that this is also leading to, like, there's a broader social conversation that I've noticed around Stranger Things, which is people who really love Stranger Things feel insane to me. It feels like something broke inside of them, where they're just like, no, it's perfect. Beginning to end, it is perfect. And in reconciling with the fact that it's not perfect, which it seems like some Stranger Things fans now are like kind of coming to heads with, to be like, not quite Game of Thrones final season level, but not like a level of like, I might need to confront the fact that this isn't particularly good is something that the super fans are having to deal with. And I've been seeing more and more this online conversation of like, no art from the 80s was good, which seems to be a thing that Stranger Things fans are now saying, where it's just like, yeah, but whatever, like Alien, The Thing, Terminator, it was always stupid pop art that makes no sense. Like, there's no depth to it. It's about enjoying the ride and what's going on. Like, it's like, no, actually, there's quite a bit of depth to a lot of that stuff. And even the pop art, which, you know, some of your Goonies or E.T. type references, still has heart and perform and meaning in performance, and this kind of loses a lot of that. And I think that now the super fans of it are just kind of like I'm seeing a broader online conversation of people just kind of like demeaning the work of the 80s and to be like, this is as good as anything that was made.
Oh, I haven't seen that. I think what I've seen is people who look too much into details and think there's Easter eggs hidden in everything, and then something ends and none of it meant anything.
Yeah.
And that's when your whole world falls apart. It's like, well, in this scene they said this line, and 2 seasons earlier this happened, so it means this is going to happen in the finale. And now none of that stuff has happened.
Yeah.
None of the clues you saw led to anything, and they weren't clues at all. And that kind of does destroy your world when it's over, when there's no chance of more of it.
Of the clues. Well, you could go see the Broadway play.
Also, I don't know if you knew this. There's an animated show coming out.
Stranger Things!
I've been waiting to let you know about the animated show.
We're not covering it. We're not covering it. We're not covering it on the podcast. We're not covering it on the podcast.
What about the Broadway show?
We're not covering it on the podcast.
You're not going to come to New York with me? Fine. I'll go myself.
Stranger Things.
Oh, Stranger Things.
Oh boy. What else do you got?
I'm gonna just do a goof of it, but it's another nitpick. It's not even a nitpick. This is a goof that I just thought was dumb in the moment. I am going to walk you through the hospital scene from Nancy's mom's point of view when she blows up the demo dogs. This is what this woman experienced. She's obviously hurt to hell. She's been attacked by a Demogorgon. She wakes up from her drug-induced coma. She hears over the radio, Robin, I don't even know if she's ever met Robin, so just some lady, announces over the hospital radio, Lucas, get to the basement, there's demo dogs. And that's all she hears. This woman, none of the people that were mentioned were her children.
Yeah.
It's not Nancy, it's not Mike, it's not Holly. It's some other random kids. I guess she maybe knows Lucas if this is the Lucas she knows. It could be another Lucas. So this woman wakes up. She hears an announcement in her hospital bed. She hears an announcement that says, Lucas, get to the basement. There's demo dogs. She hauls herself out of her bed. She grabs an oxygen tank because she'll need that. She goes down to the basement and she just chucks it into a dryer. A few minutes later, a demo dog walks by the dryer.
Oh, no, I think she came in behind the demo dogs and then threw it in the dryer and turned it on to get their attention.
All right, that's fair.
So I think she did see them and then do it.
You think she snuck behind the demo dogs in the state she was in?
It makes as much sense as any of it.
You know what? Lucas was playing Running Up That Hill on a speaker, so I guess that does cover it pretty good. Robin just being like, we have to turn the speaker off.
Turn the speaker off. Being like, no, she needs. And then also Max waking up and being like, I didn't need it at all. Makes it so fucking funny.
That they almost got killed by demo dogs because he wouldn't turn the speaker off.
And she was just like, holding my hand was all I needed. It was nice.
God damn it. I've listened to this song so many times.
The amount of times during this show that I've said to you, if I ever go into a coma and I had mentioned like a day before I have a new favorite song that I like, please don't play it every minute of the fucking day. I will haunt your ass. I will team up with Vecna. And I'm like, they all suck. Burn the earth down. They've been playing Running Up That Hill for 5 straight days.
It's its favorite song. Play. But then I put headphones on you so I don't have to listen to it.
Oh,
and then I hit rewind and repeat and rewind and repeat.
I'm just in the abyss with Vecna and I'm like, we need to kill all of them. We need to kill all of them. I can't hear this fucking song again.
But I know it would make you so mad that you're going to have to wake up to turn it off.
Yeah.
I'm like, Andrew, if you want this music off, you're going to have to wake your ass up.
I'll return, but as a true fury.
Will that be worth it for me?
These are things that you need to weigh in your darkest night of the soul.
Do I want that, Andrew, in my life?
It's a tough one. I think the last main thing that I want to talk about is the military in this, which just, it doesn't do anything and doesn't go anywhere. And it was my big change on the last episode, which is just, this is a waste of Linda Hamilton as well, because she doesn't do anything.
She doesn't do any. It's crazy how little she does, because I found the Vecna fight underwhelming. I didn't think the story was over yet. So then when we get to the other side and the military's waiting, I'm like, oh, this is going to be the real fight.
Right.
There's going to be like some of the kids are going to die, or like Linda Hamilton's going to like step up and or she's like giving herself powers or something. Like I was like, this is going to be it. And then it's nothing.
No.
The military just leaves. R.I.P. to all those pregnant ladies in the Upside Down. I guess we killed all them.
Oh, yeah. I guess they were just left there to explode.
Yeah. Who Callie told us all about.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, there's a bunch of pregnant ladies in the military base in the Upside Down.
That have been getting fed blood to see. Yeah.
So we blew all them up.
Yeah.
They're dead. But yeah, just the idea that like Linda Hamilton was like kind of in charge, and then the military fucked up everything.
Yeah.
And didn't like make any change in the story whatsoever.
No, everyone
They
just
killed
kind of
Callie?
walked away from it. Yeah, I guess they killed Callie. That's about it, really.
It's absolutely like I understand, and at the end of the day, it's crazy the military didn't have any change because I understand the kid's not going to jail. Hopper's in jail.
Yeah.
Hopper is never leaving a military prison. He killed so many people in front of them all.
Yes,
The kids just went into the Upside Down and saved other kids.
Yeah.
Hopper fully shot a gun into 18 men.
Whether or not they acknowledge publicly dimensions to a different universe existed, he did break into a closed military facility and shot a bunch of them. Mm-hmm. He's not the sheriff.
He's not. I don't even think he's the sheriff currently. I think he's in hiding with Elle.
What?
Oh, like when the season starts.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. When the season starts, he's not currently the sheriff. And
Yeah.
then he killed a bunch of military guys who I'm going to say I actually did not enjoy the cavalier way we just killed military guys. I think a guy working a gate of a military prison might not be fully evil.
And might not be in on it.
In on it. He works on this side of the gate. He's just a dude who's like, I'm on gate duty tonight.
Yeah. I am not pro-military industrial complex.
I am also not.
And clearly, even though we have the thinnest, flimsiest character development for Linda Hamilton's character, a character I do not know the name of and do not know her goals other than more power. And so, like, there's evil things being done, but yet it also seems to just be some dudes who aren't in on it or evil. It's not a private corporation. It's not a paramilitary black ops thing. It's just like, hey, go guard the gate tonight, Tom. And he's like, I did this because it paid for engineering school. Like, you know, just like this is weird.
This is weird that we killed so many of them.
Yeah.
Like Nancy had a turret gun and just took out like 5 guys.
I was Hopper killing people is a thing he's been doing.
He's a sheriff. He was in the military. Cool.
When Nancy started murking human men, I was like, okay, this is a thing the show does now.
And then Nancy just becomes a journalist. And I was like, this isn't where I thought her arc was going.
Nancy, you've taken human life.
Multiple human with no regard.
Yeah.
Like human lives that weren't like even threatening your family in the moment. Because I believe you'd shoot someone who was like threatening like your family or Jonathan or Steve. But like just to be like, we need to get our car in there.
Yeah.
We need our car to go through the big gate.
Pop, 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 pop. Ooh.
R.I.P. to your families, I
Ooh.
guess. Like those dudes had families.
Yeah. The Linda Hamilton of it all, her character just has no development, and it really feels like the show is just kind of sad that they killed Papa. Because they want that character, but there's no connection with Elle here. There's no human element to this. She doesn't have a connection with anyone. She is someone who is kind of like, just for our sake as an audience, she is the face of this program. To be like, hey, look, there's an evil person in charge and the program is evil. And I'm like, but whose order? Is it the president? Like, who's ordering this? Are we trying to get money? Are you trying to make super soldiers? Like, I know evil experiments, but Papa was like evil scientist of like, I'm actually taking a sick pride in this. And I am evil, but I also do kind of think of them as my children. I am kind of a fucked up manipulator and kind of get off on that. And Linda Hamilton's just around. At one point, the other military guy, when they're trying to capture one of them or whatever, it's like, we should call it in. And the scarred up military guy is like, don't call it into her. That's a bitch with a god complex, huh? And I'm like, is she?
Is she?
I don't think she's had more than 3 lines of dialogue. I actually don't know what her motivations are in any way.
I don't know anything too extreme that she's done. I mean, I guess she did do the pregnant ladies thing with Callie's blood.
It is implied, you know, like, yeah. I'm like, but we didn't get a scene of that, or a, like, here's why I'm doing it, or how I treat people.
No villain monologue.
No, there was no villain monologue.
She needed a villain monologue. I mean, she kind of did one when she had Hopper in the tentacle thing last volume.
Oh, yeah, a little bit.
And it was like the only cool thing she got to do the whole time because she was like making it squeeze him harder or less. But which is, again, why I say they absolutely know that Hopper killed a bunch of people. But a total waste of her.
Yeah.
And like, they wanted her to be Papa because also, like, I don't remember if Paul Reiser died. He also worked at the military base.
I believe he died.
But he was a good guy.
Yeah.
But he was on our side.
Yeah.
So, I can't remember when he died.
Yeah.
He wasn't in like the montage of people where Sad was dead.
Yeah.
It was like Barb and Sean Astin and Billy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Every year, I like how every year they introduce someone just so we can kill them that's not a main character.
Just so we can kill off a little someone.
How do we feel about the lack of deaths?
It's soft in my opinion.
It's a boring choice. Yeah.
They made the most boring choice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very safe one. Like, people won't be angry because like no one's favorite character died.
Yeah.
Unless your favorite character was Callie.
Which I don't think anyone will. I forgot that she existed until she showed up 3 hours ago.
There was one scene where it cut to her and she had a line and you went, oh, I forgot she was in this show.
She was in the background of a few scenes, just laying low for a while. And yeah, she said something. I was like, oh, right, you're here to die. You're here to die.
She's here to die. But it was pretty boring.
How do you feel about Elle's death?
I kind of like it, but it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense.
If he'd actually figured out something solid, then I was like, oh, yes. You know what? That absolutely tracks. But from his description, it means that, like, seeing her there, she was, like, actually being hit with the speakers the whole time, but just running away and invisible from an illusion. So that means that, like, Mike saying goodbye to her was also from Callie? Because her powers weren't working. So Mike's big goodbye to Elle in like the dreamscape couldn't have been Elle.
Oh, in that scenario, the way that Mike describes it, if we're taking the way Mike describes it as earnestness, she was invisible and then got out of the zone of the speaker things and then projected into his mind. So she was somewhere. She was somewhere in, whether it was like then when in that cabin that leads into the underground tunnel or whatever, but she was somewhere out of the zone of that blast when she mind hits him or mind plays him is how I interpret it from the way Mike describes it, which also makes no sense because in Mike's description, Callie is alive.
Callie is
alive. Which
alive.
She wasn't. And like Hopper wouldn't be like, oh, you're dead. Or like he wouldn't leave her to bleed out and die as well. Like we as an audience were in that scene and we saw Elle and Hopper confirm her death.
We did. I would accept an additional scene where Callie like illusions herself as dead, kind of Loki style, to trick Hopper.
Oh, okay. I would also. There are ways where I would accept it.
Yeah, especially when you have illusion powers.
Yeah.
Lots of ways to do it. I think my biggest thing is she was definitely actually shot. I don't think that's up for debate.
Yes, I agree with this.
She was actually shot. And I'm going to say the fight takes a while.
Yeah.
She didn't bleed out and die
in that
like hour and a half.
If she didn't, you could have gotten her on her feet into safety. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's
it seems rude.
Yeah.
Although she wanted to die in the Upside Down. She wanted to end this.
That I do agree with. I think that the ending is ambiguous in a way that's just kind of poorly written. Where it's just like, you could take it either way. You could take it as Elle died, and now Mike is just kind of coming up with this nice story as he is the master storyteller of the group. And that's actually kind of how I take it. But he's like, it doesn't make it sense how she would make it over there if the speaker things were hitting her. And I'm like, you're right, it doesn't. And I think that that's a thing that happened in the show and doesn't make sense. Both scenarios involve a thing that does not make sense in any way, and I don't think that the show reckons with that, but it wants to have that ambiguous ending.
It does. I also think it involves Callie using her powers way further than she's capable of, especially while bleeding out.
Yeah.
So
Further and more powerful while dying.
yeah, so I don't think it fully tracks. It is. I will say though, I think my favorite, like I do really really like the scene where they're playing D&D and he tells the story of Al.
That is really nice.
It's a really beautiful scene, even before he gets there. Like them just playing actual D&D, and like they're having fun, and like the mage reveal, and like you really feel the friendship in this scene, the excitement, the joy, and then the sadness and like the hope of the future a little bit. It's a really like great actual ending. The younger kids coming down to play after they're done is actually like a beautiful.
I liked that
generational like handing of the torch going on. So the actual ending, I actually think really nailed it. The older kids on the roof was bullshit.
That was dumb.
That was dumb. And
I liked the
Hopper and Joyce.
I liked Hopper and Joyce scene. I liked. I mean, it was great for Joyce to have a scene in that final episode where she'd only said one sentence previously. I liked the Hopper Mike scene on the bench. I thought that was
nice.
pretty sweet as well. The Dustin graduation stuff was bananas.
I forgot about the. Okay, look, I know if you're a big Stranger Things fan, that principal probably did something.
We do not remember what that principal did. As far as I understand, if he was rude at any point, it's probably because he was trying to run a normal school and did not know or believe that there were demons that were real in this world and like told Dustin to go to class or some shit. But Dustin just like full on doing and then like doing an Animal House bit and then even self-referencing Belushi. I mean, like, but this why
was
did
this
you
what you believed in or not, or did you just want to do another reference?
Yeah, it just feels like another it feels like it's like once again that's an Easter egg. No, that's not what Easter eggs are.
It should have been like what Dustin feels from his heart.
Yeah,
and wants to do. I think the principal was mean to Eddie.
Oh yeah, I think so, but I think everyone was.
So true.
Like, like he's just like, and we're all in this against Principal Fuckbag, and it's like 4 of these kids beat you to death, who are like you're the valedictorian, and everyone's applauding you. Everyone shunned you. Everyone made fun of Eddie. Most of the town, when he rips off his thing and it says Hellfire Club, and everyone starts cheering,
It should just be your friends.
It should just be your friends because the town's perspective is still that they think that dude was a killer and a demonic Satanist.
I think the town thinks Eddie made like the big crack in the ground. I think they think Eddie caused all of this.
Yeah, so like him doing this thing and getting a reaction that makes no sense, and it's just so weirdly out of character. And then hot babes come over, and I'm like,
oh my god, the hot babes!
What is happening?
Who were the hot babes?
Anyway,
boy.
Giving the finger to a principal and getting hot babes is, of course, how we all thought the series was going to end.
Oh, man.
Do you have any final thoughts here before we go in for the close? Anything that you want to wrap up on?
I think just as a final thought, even though you've been mad about a few things, particularly a play, I think I'm really happy for you that the ending of this show was not they pulled out and they'd just been playing D&D the whole time.
Yeah, I am thankful of that.
Which was before the finale aired, we discussed off mic what we think is going to happen with the ending, and I was like, I think Callie and Jonathan are going to die, and you were like, it better not be a fucking D&D fake out, and the whole like a bunch of people die and then they're not dead because it's been D&D the whole time. So I guess I'm just really happy that didn't happen.
I'm also happy it didn't happen because my prediction was if more than one child dies, they'll pull
D&D.
out because they don't have the courage to commit to killing off any of these characters and upsetting the audience in any way. So I was like, if they kill off more than one character, it'll pull out, and the whole story's been D&D the whole time. I'm glad that they didn't. The closing credits were like this story as a D&D handbook guide, but I think that was more of an Easter egg, air quote, Easter egg than anything.
I think it was more of a promotional item that you can purchase right now, probably.
Is it actually? Yeah, probably.
I am guessing.
Yeah.
There must be a Stranger Things D&D.
I'm also surprised with the restraint as well. If we're talking about just like a pleasant surprise, the restraint of not, even though you mentioned that they're making an animated series. Or
The animated series, I will say, takes place between season 2 and 3. So
Okay.
it's the original kids, but like they can't really change a lot of the lore.
Okay, because I was really placing money on that Netflix would never let this bank account close and would set up a spin-off in some way at the end of this. And I wasn't sure how it would do it, if it would be like, a new story in a new city, or like a thing opens up elsewhere in America, or they'll try to carry over one legacy character, where it's like Dustin's at school and someone's like, have you seen the occult section? And a wall opens up, splits open or something. So I was like, oh, they're not going to leave money on the table and they're going to set up a spinoff. Was my other prediction that I was also pleasantly wrong about that.
Yeah, it just has an actual ending.
Just an actual ending. So I do respect that.
And it wasn't a D&D fake out.
Yeah.
So way to go for there.
Way to go for there.
Way to go there.
Well, let's go in for the close. Let's ask the final question of what would you change? So now that we have discussed everything we have discussed, what would you change about this if you could change anything? Before we do ask that final question, we'll remind you, as we do every week, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podcast Addict, YouTube, or wherever you get these podcasts. Leaving a simple like and comment, it helps us move up the charts. It helps us find new listeners. It makes it more likely that listeners will check out the podcast. So it's a free way to support the show that does have a huge impact and means a lot to us. It's a great way to kick off your year. So do it to kick off your year. And as well, if you do want to support the show monetarily, you can do that over on our Patreon page, where you can subscribe at whatever is in your budget and get cool bonuses for doing so.
Yeah, you can, at the $3 level, you can get these episodes early and ad-free. So you could have listened to this Stranger Things episode on a Friday, almost immediately after it came out, to hear our thoughts, which is nice. And ad-free is also nice. At the $10 level, you get extra episodes of this podcast. Every single month, we cover something we've never covered on the regular podcast. And you also get access to the huge back catalog of all of our previous episodes that were Patreon only. There's so many.
There's a lot going on over there.
In December, we
did Anaconda.
We did Anaconda.
The original Anaconda.
Yeah, we did. We did the original Anaconda.
John Voight makes some choices. That's available over there right now. You can also buy individual episodes for $5 if you just want the one individual bonus episode. Check out the options. It's over at patreon.com/fromsuperheroes. That is patreon.com/fromsuperheroes. And now, let's go into the close. Let's ask the final question. Now that we have discussed everything we have discussed about this show, Diana, what would you change about it if you could change anything?
There is so much wrong that I've really focused on just like one thing that bothered me. And so I think the end fight was too boring. It was too straightforward. There weren't enough. The end fight with Vecna and the Mind Flayer, it was too straightforward. There weren't enough obstacles. There weren't enough deaths. So I'm going to add more deaths. I will say from the beginning, I was like, Jonathan's going to die, and now Steve and Nancy will get back together. And I'm just going to stick with that. That's going to be one of them. I don't really know who else should die, but there should have been some deaths, or at least injuries. I'll take some wounds. Anything that it has to get to Darkest Hour of the Soul before we turn it around and win. So I'm going to have a surprise turnaround where Murray and Hopper show up at that fight, because they missed that fight because they're downstairs. They actually take that military helicopter. They don't blow it up. They show up with the speakers that turn off Vecna's powers. Yeah, because if the speakers work on El, speakers work on Vecna, and we didn't use them on Vecna even once.
Damn.
And I'm so mad
that they set up this thing that hurts powered people, and we never use it on Henry.
Yeah, this cool thing that regular humans can use, because our big problem has always been El's the only one who can do anything. And they added Will being able to do things to Vecna specifically. Yeah. But the rest of them are still just people with guns and flamethrowers. If we bring the speakers up to the abyss, we can fuck Henry up so bad.
Dang.
Mm-hmm. And then it's a helicopter, so you can still just knock it out of the sky and break the speakers. But it helps. Yeah. It's it's the darkest moment. They're going to win. We don't have any other resources. Boom, helicopter with the speakers comes. So that's going to be my main change that I was so mad about, because they pointed out these speakers so many times. And then, some people die, and the speakers show up in the main fight, and it's just it's better paced, it's more exciting, some injuries, some deaths.
Yeah.
And then there's so many other things you could change, but I'm really going to focus on that, because I think that would have been really fun.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. Andrew, what would you change in Volume 5?
That's cool. I really like that.
Thank you. I'm very good.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like that. I think I've got a couple of changes that I just want to kind of semi rapid fire of hammer off. I kind of got 3 that I want to connect with here. I think that Vecna and Henry should be allowed to exist simultaneously. So this thing that like Henry is in his mind place with all of the younger kids, but whenever he's doing that, he's just kind of a husk hanging on a shelf in the abyss, which means that he's not Vecna and he's not a physical threat. He can either be a mental threat or a physical threat, and not both simultaneously, which means that the final action scene, as you mentioned, is kind of anticlimactic and doesn't have a lot of tension because they really just kind of walk up to a sleeping guy and then beat the shit out of him. And that's not super exciting.
Elle knocks him off the ceiling and it wakes him up.
Huh? And then you just watch a man awoken from a nap get beat to death, and it's not that exciting. So I think if he could exist in both places simultaneously, it makes it way more exciting, where he's just like, I know that they're coming in the abyss, and he's there with the Mind Flayer rather than asleep behind it. So if the kids are walking up and it's the Mind Flayer and him, and he's just like, come on then. And he's a physical threat while the younger kids are also having the battle in the mindscape. Just let him exist in both places simultaneously, and it makes it way more exciting. Yeah. And then it actually becomes a true exciting, we're trying to battle on all fronts simultaneously. And, and we're like, and then it's like, yeah, come on, go regular Stranger Things kids. And then it's like, go Derek and his crew. And then that's very exciting for me. I think it should be a smaller crew. We need to cut out the tertiary characters. You know what I mean? Like all of the ones that we've added. Like I'm like, the mom doesn't need to be here.
The teacher, Vicky,
Robin's
Erica.
partner / I don't even know if they've been on a proper date. No, I think they've been on dates.
They've been dating.
So Robin's partner. I'm like, why are we bringing more people in? It really should come down to the original crew going to save the day. So narrow down the crew, have it a battle on 2 fronts. And then my final small thing is I think there needed to be a full circle callback to season 1. And I wanted the Christmas lights. They've been having, it's like they break the antenna of the walkie and they're like, how are we going to communicate with one another? And Hopper's like, well, I'll bang on this thing and then I'll walkie out to the other world. Just have something that breaks the line of communication. And they're like, how can we talk to one another? And Joyce be like, I remember one way we used to do it. And string up the fucking Christmas lights. I think that would create such a nice kind of like warm feeling of what season 1 was.
And you know what's great about that? These episodes came out at Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be nice on Christmas Eve to be like, they're putting up the Christmas lights?
It's the lights thing. Remember what a whirlwind like social thing that was?
Oh
like,
my God, there was
so many people at home, like people were putting up Christmas, Christmas sweaters that had the letters on it and shit. That was a social phenomenon, and they didn't bring that back. And I really feel like that was a huge way for them to communicate. That would have been a warm, self-referential nostalgia rather than going like Jim Belushi, Animal House, Terminator, blah, like. Reference the warm thing that you made. You've earned it at this point after 5 seasons.
Yeah, that would have been so nice.
Yeah.
It would have given Joyce something to do.
And it would have given Joyce
would have been like, the lights worked.
Yep. So those are my handful of changes. Bring back the Christmas lights, reduce the size of the crew, and Vecna should be able to battle mentally and physically at the same time. He has superpowers. Who gives a shit? He doesn't need to be in a goo egg in order to do it.
I love all these changes.
Yep.
Accepted.
Yeah, and I love yours. The fact that they never use those speakers on Vecna, that's a great realization. That blows my mind.
Well, haven't we done it?
I think we have.
Done it.
Well, that's going to do it for us this week for the entirety of Stranger Things. Next week, we will be back. And next week, we're going to be talking about the film Annihilation, which is a lead up to the following week. It's the same director who is doing the 28 years later, The Bone Temple, which we'll be covering then the following week on the podcast. In the meantime, if you want to get a hold of us, you can find me online most places. I'm at Ivimey, Ivimey.
You can find me at Words of Diana.
And you can find both of us most places at From Superheroes, and check out FromSuperheroes.com for everything that we make. And we'll talk to y'all next week.
Bye.